Mama.
Sights and Sounds is brought to you.
We went to the movies. I forgot my wallet, but my brother sent me money.
I pretended not to notice.
Every day was a celebration.
Street Live in association with Reham WhatsApp. Feel it within.
Mbadde nga nkyasoma ndi muvaka S4 kati muvaka S4 nga ntungira mu zino ensawo omulimu guno ngumazeemu emyezi 2 nabiyigira Kenya anti wange yantwala kuba abeerayo nfunyemu school fees ezigenda okuntwala ku S5 obuzibu bwensanze materiyo mujjawala abavubuka abave mu betting bafune emirimu egy'okkola batandikewo kale business obutonotono oba oli awo basobola okuyitamu.
Street Live in association with Reham WhatsApp. Feel it within.
And the change of government won't stop a thing. I've run out of fingers counting the number of multinationals setting up here. What about the 3 companies that announced their plans to launch last week? I say they're shortly. Me, I'd be looking to sell.
Welcome to NTV at 1. Police ambassadors and officials from Africa in Kampala to on the formation of police force, AfriPol. The police force will help coordinating operations across African countries to transfer crimes. The ad hoc committee on AfriPol will write a report to be submitted to the African Union for endorsement in January 2014.
Human body parts trafficking, drug trafficking, small firearms trafficking, and also terrorism are some of the crimes that continue to affect most African countries, and they need concerted efforts by different security agencies on the continent to curb them. In a bid to tackle these challenges, police chiefs and ambassadors from over 10 African countries spent the better part of the day deliberating on the roadmap for an African police force, encompassing training, information sharing, and modalities of troop deployments. One of the key proposals was the need for a mechanism where member states can issue arrest warrants for suspected criminals hiding in any country.
We are working on the development of our African arrest warrant, and it's going to be like an important document, a guiding document for the work of AfriPol.
The African police will also act as a standby force to be deployed in conflict-affected countries like Somalia, where Uganda and Nigeria already have police officers.
When they ask us, now we also ask for support from friends. Now, if you have got AfriPol, this mechanism, then you can mobilize resources and prepare like as part of the African standby force. You prepare and we share responsibility.
The police chiefs also agreed at the high-level forum to meet to share best practices to help build a stronger African police to ensure a safer Africa.
Now, if we don't cooperate at law enforcement level among ourselves, the criminals will have the upper hand. In fact, they have been having the upper hand.
George Washington also, who said that the only way to prevent war is to prepare for war.
As he closed the meeting, Chief Guest Internal Affairs Minister General Aronda Nyakairima challenged the African chiefs to match their resolutions with action.
If in search of peace in the world, we on the African continent, if ever we find others walking, for us we have to run.
The ad hoc committee will submit the Kampala resolutions and proposals to the African Union early next year. Sudil Biarhanga, NTV.
The members of parliament asked the opposition those agitating for reforms to table their concerns in the House. The chairperson of the Legal Affairs Committee, Stephen Mugabe, says reforms cannot happen unless there are issues.
Affairs has advised formally forward their concerns to Parliament.
Let the ordinary people know that there is a proposal from the opposition on A, B, C, D, and let's debate them. But if you talk about cosmetic proposals that are not even mentioned, that confuses not only yourselves, but also the population.
Is it lack of legal framework that you have become a puppet to the president? Is it lack of legal framework that the judiciary has been thoroughly undermined? That so many years down the road we don't have a chief justice?
The so-called Muzei does not have the DNA of democracy. Now you cannot give what you don't have, just like a goat cannot lay eggs. We have told you this for years.
The platform, organized by Advocates Coalition Government and Environment, ACOT, as well as National NGO Forum, was aimed at discussing an audit of political reforms for the realization of Vision 2040. Moses Sakena, NTV at 1.
You could actually share your thoughts on that and on the opposition's demand for electoral reform. Have you say, check 6565 followed by your name and context and wherever you are, and we'll be checking back on these opinions and comments to give you feedback here on NTV at 1. But let's move on for now. 2 people in MBARARA town by unidentified thugs. Kasim and his niece, Saidat Nabukera, were shot dead in MBARARA to celebrate Eid Adha. People have so far been arrested as police continues with investigations into the murder.
This incident happened at 9 p.m. on Thursday. Kasim Mwonge had just arrived in MBARARA to join his relatives ahead of the Eid Adha celebrations on Saturday. His niece, Saidat Nabukera, who works in Kampala, had accompanied him. They were shot at as they approached Hussein Nsamba's residence in Central Cell, Kakoba Division, in MBARARA municipality. Hussein Nsamba is Kasim Mwonge's elder brother.
They instantly died at the scene. They died, they were in the vehicle. It is Mwonge who was personally driving, was shot and he died in the chair. And Nabukera also died in the co-driver's chair.
The deceased were driving in this Toyota Mark II, which was shattered by the bullets that killed them. The motive of the killers remains unclear, but police have launched investigations into the matter.
We have so far made some few arrests, some few recoveries, but it is too early to commit ourselves beyond that.
The assailants did not take anything from the car, meaning that they were probably only interested in the lives of the deceased.
We have lost a relative, we have lost a brother. We are in tears. We are in tears. Our request is for the police to do their work.
Very unfortunate. Tonight, a group of youngsters in MBARARA district caused the arrest of their LC3 speaker who is in community. The youth in Rugando say the speaker planted trees on the field they used to play football. Accusations denies. We have more.
I started my primary level in primary school. We are using this playground. Until last year, it's when I had 2 people complaining that the playground is theirs. We organize ourselves because what we are fighting for, we know that it is ours.
twenda kurwana, we are not violent. Ntuza kugumiza muna koti, ntoza ishibara kora bachikore bwanyuma ya kote cyera sharamu. Itu nicyo tugendera cyo nkamazima.
A group of NRM youth calling themselves the Poor Youth want the former Prime Minister MBARARA to stand for the presidential elections on the party ticket. Youth say that as he was dropped, he has enough time to concentrate on becoming president. Maurice Ochoa reports that the police did not allow the youth to converge in Wandegea and Bwaise and are searching for the ringleaders.
Change should not come outside our party. Change should begin from our party. We do not have opposition in. We all know that. If opposition has been there for us, and then NRM has been there for more years, let's do in our political party. As mobilizers of the NRM, we shall never be part again. We resolved to mobilize the entire community to oppose our country. Nothing will stop us from fighting through cause of common. Now and after war comrades to be his great enemies. If a kid can say buy him 7, what about me, an elder person? I've said enough is enough. Museveni, we need financial Uganda. Must retire in 2015. The NRM Poor Youth Forum. Actually, we welcomed the to minister, and we as the youth, we are so happy.
So I'm actually warning them. There are individuals in that group. On site, I will arrest them and take them to court. Even now, if I get them, I'll take them to court.
This is NTV. We're going to take a short break. We come back with many more stories and, of course, comments from you on our day's poll question.
Use White Star Laundry Bar Soap with a lemon fragrance and you'll have a fresh, clean day. Be like a star. Use White Star. White Star Laundry Bar Soap. All day fresh clean.
Oyagala okumanya ebikulu mu bulamu bwo, ebintu ng'amaka, omukwano, ebyendya, ebyemirimu oba byabulamu, ate okukuuma omubiri oba emisono egy'enjawulo. Abakugu bagenda kutaanya ensonga zino nange Farida Nakazibwe buli lunaku okuva ssaawa 3 okutuuka ssaawa 4 ez'okumakya. Tosobwa mwasize mutya.
Ariel claims to give us the best stain removal in one wash. So we'll collect tough stains, red sand, fruit juice, chocolate ice cream, to see which gives the best stain removal in one wash. We'll wash one half with Ariel and the other with premium detergent. Did the other premium detergent remove these stains? And Ariel? Yes! Ariel, best stain removal in one wash.
On the next episode, brought to you by Orange is the #1 internet provider, giving you the fastest internet speeds everywhere. TUWAYE.
betting munsi wonna ujali
munsi yonna gye yali ensi yonna tuli nsi yonna
kubanga UPDF ne bwenebeereyo ne ba committed nga beediringa nabo bakadde
bajja kufa
result tewajja kufa
ogenda mu kyalo n'osanga eka nnene nga mulimu omuntu ogu ng'alina emyaka 6 oba 65 kati omwana wali Kampala buli lunaku amukubira essimu nsindikirayo ettooke ntitulitadde ku baasi nsindikirayo obushera ovudde mu kyalo gw'oli wano buli omu yenna atuula kulya mu Kampala buli omu atuula kulya ate kati bayiga bufe bufe ku makya katogo kabyenda biki emisana bufe n'ebyo byolya bivaawa.
Orange is the #1 internet provider. You can have the best internet experience in Uganda. Simply dial *133# to buy an internet bundle. Today changes with Orange.
TV at 1, and thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on our afternoon's. Asking about the opposition's demand for electoral reforms. Is it viable? So to have you say, you can go ahead, still text 65 followed by your name and your location. But let's check some of these in Mashe Miki. There's no question about that. Electoral reforms are urgently needed, but more the president should rule himself out of the next election to create space for national healing. And Godfrey Okudo, but the opposition needs to unite and form a coalition, put up a stronger front. Richard Katamba, the work has to be done to update registers, clear ghost polling stations, modernize the collection of electoral data. All this and more should be done ahead of time to avoid crash, which has often compromised standards. Thank you very much for your comments. You can still go ahead and update us. Find Twitter at NTV Uganda and on our Facebook page. We'll definitely be getting to know what you think about this. Moving on. Lawmakers and government are scheduled to hold annual prayer breakfast in Kampala next week to pray for the spiritual reawakening of the country. And the revelation was made by the Ndora West MP David Bahati at a news conference in Parliament. This year's guest speaker will be the Ghanaian chairman of the Africa House of Prayer, Emeka Nwapka.
Announce to you and through you to the country the 16th National Prayer Breakfast, which will take place next week on Wednesday, the 8th of October, the day our Constitution came into effect. The essence of the prayer breakfast is to remind lawmakers and leaders in the country of their role in making laws, policies, and decisions that respect and develop mankind as children of God and to deepen our relationship with God. We have invited all the political parties. The president of DP, Honorable Norbert Mao, has confirmed attendance. The president of FDC, General Mugisha Muntu, has always been with us and he has confirmed attendance. We have sent a card to the president of the UPC, Mr. Oraro Tunu. We expect them to be around, and other political parties.
David Bahati there talking about prayer breakfast, which is scheduled to be on the 16th breakfast in Kampala. And moving on, authorities in Hong Kong have offered to hold talks with democracy protesters who are continuing to occupy central areas of the city, pressing for political reforms. And minutes before a midnight deadline set by the protesters for Hong Kong's chief executive Leung Chang-ying to resign passed. He said he would send his chief secretary to meet the demonstrators.
Leung Chang-ying said he had no intention of stepping down, and earlier yesterday the students threatened to escalate their protests, including occupation of government buildings, unless Leung stepped down. He warned the protesters of serious consequences if they chose to storm government buildings. Leung's statement was played on loudspeakers to the protesters outside and was received with a lot of booing, and the crowd had become noisier since the speech. But there had been no attempts made so far to cross the barrier. Thousands of protesters had been camping out in the main streets of the Chinese Autonomous Region for the past several days. With the protests showing no signs of warning, Wang Yi, China's foreign minister, issued warning to the US and other foreign countries not to interfere. Week-long street protests by thousands of demonstrators pressing for electoral reforms in Hong Kong are the biggest challenge to Beijing's authority since China took control of the former British colony in 1997. The protests erupted after the Chinese government restricted who can run as the commercial hub's next chief executive or leader in elections scheduled for 2017. In other news, Australia's cabinet has authorized military airstrikes on the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant group on Iraqi territory and the deployment of special forces troops to combat the fighters. Prime Minister Tony Abbott said the deployment to Iraq could be quite lengthy, certainly months rather than weeks. He said the decision to intervene came at the request of the Iraqi government and that it was in Australia's national interest.
Let's have a look at sports now. Manchester City had a chance to put their champions to one side and move within 2 points of Premier League leaders Chelsea when they travelled to Aston Villa on Saturday. Meanwhile, Cesc Fabregas will play against his old club Arsenal for table-topping Chelsea, while Tottenham Hotspur's boss Mauricio Pochettino will try to halt the progress of his former club Southampton, who are second in the Premier League this weekend.
Aston Villa have seen their form suffer in recent weeks, just as many had expected them to, following a brilliant start to the new Premier League season. After defeats to Arsenal and Chelsea in the past couple of games, the tough challenges keep on coming as Paul Lambert's men prepare for the visit of Manchester City on Saturday. Tests don't come much more difficult than facing the defending champions, but Villa can afford to be optimistic after relieving pressure with the early season successes. With a pair of losses, draws and wins after the opening 6 rounds, the Red Devils head into Sunday's clash in 7th spot on the table and 8 points adrift of front-runners Chelsea. Louis van Gaal's men showed the determination that's been missing the last time out, holding on to defeat West Ham 2-1 last week. The task was made harder following a red card to captain Wayne Rooney, and the former Everton player will miss the chance to line up against his former side this weekend as he serves a suspension. Meanwhile, Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger is hopeful that Cesc Fabregas will receive a warm reception from Ghana's fans when he faces his former club this weekend in a Chelsea shirt. The Spain international will go head-to-head with the club he spent 8 years of his career in the Premier League this Sunday at Stamford Bridge. When Fabregas joined Arsenal's rivals in the summer from Barcelona, the midfielder suggested that he would have preferred a return to the Emirates, but the North London outfit didn't want him.
There'll be mouth-watering games over the weekend in the Premier League, and thank you very much for watching. That's it on NTV at 1, but we have more sports coming up on Omomuli, Dev and Darren are the experts for the updates, analysis, and the news you need to know from the world of. But don't forget, you can download NTV Mobi to watch wherever you are, at whatever time you need. What to do is go to download it, it will be on, and you can as well win lots of gift hampers and cool bikes. And all you need to do is look at numbers on your screen as you watch NTV. Numbers to a good afternoon and enjoy your weekend.
NTV, turning on your world.
Welcome to Jazz with Isaiah, a musical venture that is entertaining,